Dean Turner is Senior Economist at UBS Global Wealth Management. He joins us live out of London for insights on what's happening on the ground there. And Dean, obviously we've just seen this disappointing read on GDP. We have recession fears continuing to ratchet up as investors question whether the BOE and the government really have a handle on what's happening in the UK right now. First, when it comes to the GDP read, just unpack the numbers for us. What are the factors behind this fall that we've seen?
Yes, so the read we saw yesterday was a pretty weak number across the board. I think most concerning was the slowdown that we saw in services, and especially consumer-facing services, because what this is really indicating is that the cost of living squeeze is hitting UK consumers hard. Now, we have had a fiscal package announced, which I'm sure we'll come to more to in a moment, and that's likely to ease the burden on households a little bit as we go through the winter months. But that's hard. That's not unlikely to be enough to prevent a deeper slowdown from here. So I would expect when the third quarter number is released, it does show a negative print for the third quarter, and that's likely to continue into the final quarter of this year.
So, Dean, falling growth, persistent inflation, and of course this government fiscal package also making its way through the economy. What does all of this mean for a BOE under siege?
Under siege is a great term. The BOE is really caught in a difficult spot right now. Look, if we separate out the two parts of what the bank's trying to do, the first is clearly trying to fight inflation, and with that we've seen 7 interest rate hikes in a row, and there'll be more to come. I think when they meet early next month, we can be looking for somewhere between 75 and 100 basis points of increase. So, I think that part of the policy mix is, perhaps a little bit easier for investors to understand. But clearly what we've got going on in the background in the bond markets, where they're acting with their kind of regulatory and financial regulator hat on, is causing some confusion here. Now, we've heard a lot from the bank so far this week. I think we'll have to see what happens as and when we get to Friday and the current phase of liquidity provision, or bond buying if you want to call it that, comes to an end.